Fine. I think that I'm good here.
Hello, everyone. We are live on the Belief Breakthrough Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Tina Encarnacion, and I am your host. I am a holistic healer and author, the executive producer of Unseen, a documentary on healing that is releasing next month on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And hopefully, we'll be pushing up to Netflix as well. I am so excited that you have tuned into this show because we believe that through breaking through your limiting beliefs, you can achieve anything that your heart desires. And as a healer, it is my job to push you beyond your comfort zone, to make you realize that you are worth everything that you dream of and that you are capable of achieving it all. And the way that we do that is through breaking through limiting beliefs. Now, this month we are focused on financial um, limiting beliefs. So we're breaking through our financial ceilings. We're breaking through our financial walls. Hello, Jennifer. How are you? Thank you for joining us on the show. Um, so we're breaking through our financial beliefs, limiting beliefs, and we are getting comfortable with talking about money, which is something that we typically do not do, especially as women. And so we are so blessed that today we have the opportunity to speak with Karen Eng, who is phenomenal. Karen, you're on mute. So you'll want to unmute yourself before you go live.
Yes, I do that on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so Karen is a phenomenal woman. I met Karen about 7 years ago,
Oh,
and she became a part of my healing team and was amazing at it, but found a new passion in her life. And the passion was in the
yes.
financial industry. And I have sat here and mentored her and in her healing, as well as she's had Jennifer mentor her in her finances. And I have watched
Yes.
this woman grow. I have watched her break through her glass ceilings. I have watched her learn to believe in herself and to release her pain so that she could soar above the clouds of belief within herself and her world and her environment. And so I am so grateful that I get to share Karen with all of you guys tonight because this woman has been an inspiration to me and I know she's going to be an inspiration to all of you. So Karen, can you please explain to everybody watching tonight why you took that leap into the financial industry and what has lit your fire and made you so passionate about it, and share with us what you've learned through this process?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tina, for that awesome introduction. I mean, how can I follow that, right? So the reason why I got into financial services was I was on this wellness journey, and at first it was for myself, and I have you to thank for that. You totally empowered me to take the reins on my own, like um, mental physical, mental, spiritual, emotional journey, right? To better myself and improve the situation that I am in, and um, like enhance the already positive outlook that I've had, like, and just bring it up to that next level. And so when I actually, you just mentioned Jennifer, she brought basically the world of financial services into my life, and I never knew how important that financial having that financial foundation is so integral to our lives. Because if you think about it, money basically affects every aspect of our lives, no matter how much
Mm.
we try to, you know, get away from it, or think that, oh, money, love is all we need, or like we don't really need money, or money is the root of evil, right? And it's really just the love of money, or the love of, like, attaining money, I guess, that might be evil. But money itself and finances itself is it's crucial, because it's what brings us the services, and basically our livelihood, right?
Mhm.
It's what we need. And so when she first brought this business to me, I thought, okay, this will just be an extra way for me to make a little bit of money on the side, because I come from a background of administration. And I just thought, okay, I have a good decent job, I'm getting a decent pay with good benefits, so I just it'll be nice to get just a little bit of extra money.
Mhm.
And so once I found out, though, the type of company that I work with was not just a traditional financial services company, I quickly found out that I wanted to learn more because I was addicted to learning about my own financial health and helping others know and learn about theirs. And so many of the people that I have approached, whether it was someone I knew personally or it was just a cold contact or whatever, everyone they have always thanked me for sharing what we know and the wealth and knowledge that we know. And what we do is we bring the knowledge of the wealthy to the masses. And
Mm.
so our company's mission is to change a million lives, but that is just the beginning, Tina. And also, what really touched me about this company and financial services is because this company in itself, their top five values is faith. They call it the five F's: faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. And so I was like, I want in. And so that is why, Tina, that's basically the beginning of why I wanted to become a part of the financial industry.
That's amazing. So I know with your specific company that you work for, life insurance is something that's becomes very prevalent in your industry,
Yes.
the company that you work for. And I can tell
Mm-hmm.
you, for me, I had an experience 6 months after I married my husband. I was
Uh-huh.
26, I think, somewhere around.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, there's something. First off, something that America does not do is teach financial literacy to our children.
Right.
We teach math,
Right.
we teach English and science and history, but we don't teach financial literacy. And I really feel like financial literacy is the epicenter of all that we need to know as adults, right? If you don't understand finances, you don't understand life. Like math is okay.
Exactly.
Obviously, English and writing you need to know to communicate. But if you don't know how to
Yeah.
balance a checkbook when you enter into the adult realm, you're lost. If you can't figure out
Exactly.
that A plus B plus C equals D and D is what you need at the end of the month, you're screwed, right? And so
Yeah.
at the age of 26, I married my husband. I entered into the true adult world. You know, you get married, you have kids, we got pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we knew that we would always be okay because if anything ever happened to us financially, we could move in with his mother, we could live with her, she would help us survive. And 6 months after we got
Yeah.
married, she died. She died. Massive
Oh
stroke.
gosh.
She called and
Rough.
said, I don't feel good. Can you
So
come pick
sorry.
us up? By the time my husband got there, she was dead. It was hard. It was really
Oh
hard.
no.
And at that time, we realized we need life insurance. We are pregnant with our
Yeah.
first child. And if we die on our first child like this, we leave her with nothing unless we have
Yeah.
insurance. And so that's something I think that we
Yeah.
don't talk about very much, especially in the younger generations. We don't talk about what do you
Right.
leave behind financially?
Right.
And so I kind of got into my soapbox about what we need to learn. But
Uh-huh.
Karen, what do you see in your realm of expertise? What do you think is the number one biggest challenge of the 20 to 40 realm of individuals financially that they struggle with?
So I think, and this, I'm so glad you brought this up, Tina. It's wonderful that you brought this up because it is a big issue, especially in that age range you just brought up. Um, I think for people that age, you and I happen to fall into that age group. You think you're young, you think you're young, you're invincible. You don't
Mhm.
need. I don't. Do I really need to have life insurance? But honestly, you do. And I was just looking at statistics earlier, just kind of refreshing on it. And so it says 54% of adults have life insurance, meaning the rest of that, the 46% don't. And then of that 54%, 40% are in the older ages, so older than 40, and they all wish that they got life insurance at an earlier age. And that's because they wish that, you know, they were younger and healthier, and the life insurance was cheaper back then to be able to take advantage of that rate. And so the largest challenge is just what you said, that lack of financial education and financial literacy, and the not knowing that they need to get the help and the basically the financial coaching to learn about how important it is to set themselves up for that proper protection. And I think a lot of people think too that, Tina, that with life insurance, you can only get life insurance, the payout once you die, or once someone has to die for you to get that money. But there's a new life insurance that not too many people know about, that you can actually capture that life insurance while you are still alive, and not people know about that kind of stuff. So it really is that lack of um, financial literacy and education at a young age that is the issue, and that is the problem with, not just nationwide, but we're really worldwide. And but especially in the US, we aren't educated about that in the educational system.
Absolutely. And then you kind of touched on it too. What is that? I don't know what that is. So you touched on it a little bit, where we think we're invisible. The younger
Yeah.
age things were invisible, and I truly did too until mom died. And when mom died, it really made me realize how important life insurance was, because she had like 10 life insurance policies, but all lapsed except
Okay.
for one. And so when she passed away, we had to pay with her funeral fees. We had to pay, there was debt left behind, there was mortgage left behind, there was so much left behind. And we were like at a standstill. We didn't know what we were going to do, how we were going to deal with it. But because mom had that
Yeah.
one policy, we were able to um, get ourselves in a home that we now share with my brother-in-law, because he was a minor when she passed away, and we're able to survive. And it taught us that we needed life insurance.
Okay.
So me and my husband took out life insurance. I was 26. I think he was 31, 30 or 31. And it gives
Okay.
me a sense of
Okay.
comfort, because I know that if he were to pass away tomorrow, or if I were to pass away tomorrow, our life insurance would cover all of our bills and still be able to allow him or me to grieve
Right.
and take care of our
Right.
children. And so I,
Right.
I I think we need to kind of touch on the importance of life insurance, because my
Right.
husband is 41 or 42. Some I can't even keep up with us. But this year he's had like three classmates pass away. So people that we know
Oh,
that are still in their 40s have passed away. And I think we're seeing a lot
oh,
of young death right now, because we're seeing a lot of the
yeah.
cancers, we're seeing autoimmune disorders, a lot of suppressed emotions are
Yeah.
killing off the younger population right now, because we're just
Yeah.
killing ourselves with stress and worry, and we leave behind a legacy of debt that our families then
Yeah.
need to pick up. And so I think that
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about the different types of life insurance for those people that are not yet educated, because there's three types of life insurance, correct?
Yes.
Main types.
So it depends. So yeah, there's the new and the old, and then there is term life insurance, there's permanent, and well, it's basically those are the two main things that people need to worry about, term and perm. And it really depends on the oh, I lost you there for a second. It really depends on the needs of the individual. And so what we try to do first is sit with a potential client and go over a few key concepts, like it's called the three rules of money, and they're vital to anyone's basically their financial foundation and financial education. And what we teach on that is proper accumulation, protection, and the distribution of money for one's lifetime, and a particular lifestyle for someone, because with any life insurance, I'm sure most people know you have to qualify for it. So it really is, there's a process where we first teach the financial concepts, and then we go over a complimentary personal financial review for our prospective clients, and then we go over what they would qualify for. So we put in applications to see what they would qualify for. And so the main thing that you would start off with is um, term, which is temporary life insurance, which means there's like a limit, there's a certain limit. So there's 10, 20, 30, it's usually 10, 20, or 30-year time frames. Or permanent life insurance, which is whole life insurance. Or there's also even more different types of uh, whole life insurance
Mhm.
on top of that. So we like to teach on, especially with families, we like to teach on what's called the family banking strategy. I can't go more into that in this presentation, but we like to teach. We can teach anyone. You could be a young working single person, or you could be someone about my or your age, where you could be married with kids and whatnot, and we can go over that complimentary financial review for you. What I do suggest, Tina, to any of our audience or listeners today, is to pick up a book called Money, Wealth, and Life Insurance. And the reason being is it is a very quick read. I myself read it within a day, and that was being slow, um, slowly reading it. But there's also it just teaches those concepts in a very simple way to the basically the beginner. I read it my first month in the financial business, and it just opened my eyes and was so mind blowing that we weren't taught these concepts, like I said, at a
Mm-hmm.
younger age. Like we would, you and I, our families, we would be in better financial situations. Not saying that we're in horrible financial situations, but just imagine how much better it would be if our our forefathers or whoever were given this information, and were raised with this education,
Right.
you know, uh, way long ago. And so,
Yeah.
on top of that book, I would also recommend um, going on YouTube and watching the movie called The Power of Zero. Then it's a very good, interesting, eye opening, mind blowing movie. And after that, you would then contact a professional, financial professional, just as myself or Jennifer, who's on the call, also to help you navigate through the financial awareness and education for that good financial future for your own family and generations to come.
Absolutely. Now, Kirsten is on the call with us as well, and she said she would like to know more. She hears that one must put all assets in a trust, including LI. Kirsten, I'm not sure what that is. When living in
Life
California, this is
insurance.
life insurance. Okay. When living in California, this is necessary to keep the state from penalizing the beneficiaries. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So, thank you so much, Kirsten, for bringing that up, because that is another financial service that my company does provide. But any financial professional that you go to, they should be able to provide you with that service. Um, so it's really essential for anyone who have children, or they intend to, or they want to will or give their whatever they have, like whether it be life insurance or even
Mm-hmm.
money in your bank, to put that into a living trust, or make sure they set up their estate and legacy planning with the proper experts. Because for example, right now I have a family member who they their own family member passed away, and that individual did not give the information on their life insurance, and their life insurance, any life insurance and other financial products or services that they have, is being held up right now, because of um, no there was no trust to protect all of that. And when you don't have a trust, it does make your accounts, or your life insurance, or whatever, it does make your accounts, what is that, just totally, the word is slipping my mind. You are subject to probate. So for example, Aretha Franklin and Prince, and Aretha Franklin and Prince, they did not protect their assets, and so um, their money went to probate first before it got to the heirs and the beneficiaries. And so that's millions and millions of dollars. And the average Joe does not have millions and millions of dollars. And so if you are in that situation when you have millions, okay, maybe it might not be that bad for your heirs. But when you don't have as much, but your family needs that little bit that you have, it's very important to protect it with a trust.
Absolutely. And
So do
for those And for
sorry.
those of you guys that are watching, and you're not aware, you can message in your questions, and Karen can answer them for you. So
Yes.
Karen, one thing that I learned, especially with my mother-in-law, she had a will, but it was outdated.
Uh-huh.
And
Mm.
so we really struggled with that. And we had to think of, do we want to go to a real estate or an estate attorney and fight this, or do we just want to walk away? And we ended up just walking away. Um,
Yeah,
But now we have a house and we have children, and we know that we need to get a trust. For those individuals that have kids, but they don't own a house, and they're like,
uh-huh.
well, I really don't need a trust because I don't really have any assets. Do you feel as though it would be smart for them to still get a trust?
Absolutely, Tina, and here's why. Even if you don't own a home, your wouldn't you consider your children your assets?
I
And
do.
so it's crazy that people would consider not getting a trust because, especially if you have kids, because did you know that if you don't have a trust in place, the government can select who your kids go to if something, I mean, God forbid, knock on wood, if something happened to you and your husband, you and Rod, the government has the right to put your kids where they see fit, and the kids might not go to who you would have wanted them to. And
Mm,
so that's just one of the reasons why, even though you don't have a house, you would want to still set up a trust. I've even had clients of my own, and Jen has too. They've set trusts for their pets, their own dogs. So
wow.
if they're gonna do it for pets, yeah, people think it's crazy, but I mean, pets are like family, and if you found out that, like, the pets are gonna go to a shelter somewhere or worse, I mean, wouldn't you want them to be taken care of?
Hmm. And then another amazing benefit that I find with life insurance is if I pass away tomorrow, I have three children, 9, 10, and 11. And
Yeah,
we have a mortgage on this house. And of course, we have debt like the average family. If I were to pass away tomorrow, not only would my funeral be paid for through my life insurance policy, my debts would all be paid off, the mortgage would be paid off, but my children will also be set up with college tuition for their entire 4 years
right.
each. And my
If it
husband
is,
would be able
if it
to
is,
survive. Yeah, and my husband would be able to survive for
yeah,
5 years without working so he could have sufficient time to grieve
right,
for me. So we get insurance for our house, we get insurance for our cars, we get insurance for our pets, we get insurance for our health, but we never think of
yes,
getting insurance for our life. And isn't our
right,
life
uh-huh,
even more substantial and even more worth
exactly.
taking care of our family's financial
People
situation than that?
people get in on their phones before they get in on their lives, and I'm like, does your phone pay for your life?
Hmm.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
so glad that you brought that up. I'm so
Yeah, and
glad that you brought that up.
also another thing is I know that you can't touch on this, but because I have a whole life policy, I will.
Uh, okay.
Um, and so Jen says, have a will at least. Anyone with kids
Yes,
should
have a
have
will. Yeah,
a trust. And then
yeah,
Donna says,
have a will.
Amen.
Yes.
So for me, I know I had term life. So I had insurance on my life till I was 35. Me and Rod both, the original policy we took out was until we were 65. We had 30 years. So Rod would have been 67 and I would have been like 50 something. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
there's no way I'm dying. Like I might die before then, but I'm really not going to die before then. And so we ended up upgrading it to whole life
Yeah.
after 5 years. And what
Yeah.
I love is it's like a secret savings account for me because
Mhm.
every single year, um, I pay off a portion of my life insurance, and then it also has like a hidden savings account. So if I ever want to borrow against my whole life insurance policy,
Yeah.
like say, oh my gosh, I've got all this debt, I can't, I, I don't want to deal with it. I can go to my life insurance policy, pull it out, and take basically a loan out on my life
Alone.
insurance policy that
Yeah.
I don't have to pay back until I die.
Right.
And so that's one benefit of having a whole life insurance policy that I don't think a lot of people really realize is kind of built into life insurance.
Yeah.
And because
Yes.
it's a
The
loan,
cash
I don't have
flow.
to pay taxes on it, which is really great.
Yeah. You don't have to pay taxes on it because it's a tax advantaged account, and not a lot of people know that because it's a life insurance. It's a legacy account, and so it's not going to be taxed like a 401k or an IRA would. So it just yeah, it's a great financial vehicle that not enough people know about. So I'm glad you brought that
Absolutely.
up.
Yeah. Now Kirsten asked a really good question. She said, Tina, not to get too personal, but I want to know, does the debt to get paid off include just your debt or the debt co-signed by your husband? And so, Kirsten, the thing is my life insurance policy is a total amount. So, I've got a close to $1 million of life insurance on me. So if my husband kills me tomorrow, you guys know why. No.
You guys know why. No way.
So,
You're worth more than that.
so Kirsten, how life insurance works is the policy pays out to your beneficiary in its entirety, and then your beneficiary can choose how to use that life insurance policy, unless you've got a will or a trust telling them how to use it. And so my life insurance, it will pay off all of our debt in its entirety, both my own debt and our co-signed debt, and then it leaves him about $500,000 left over, so that he can pay off the mortgage, he can pay the kids' college funds, and whatever he sees fit.
Yeah. And I'm sure you set up with your financial professional, you set up, you were able to go over your finances so that you can set up that certain amount. So not every family will want or need a $1 million policy or $500,000 policy.
Right.
It all just depends on your needs. There are life insurance policies that, like I said, the new type of life insurance policy has what is called living benefits, and that is for people to be able to obtain that money while they are still living, and there's certain criteria you need to meet to be able to pull out that money. And then there are the permanent life insurances that have the long-term care rider on them, so that you can use that money for long-term care services and stuff. So but yes, when you do sit with a financial professional, finally, or when you do set up that appointment, they will go over that kind of stuff. They'll go over what we call the dime. They'll go over your debt, your income, your mortgage if you have any, an education or a future fund that you want to set up for your family. They'll go over stuff like that with you. They'll go over your financial, your future dreams and goals and what you plan to do in your retirement. They try to they try to capture all of that in your financial portfolio and your review.
Yeah. And so Karen kind of touched on it. And again, she can't go too deep into it. But so for me, I got an all life policy with a rider. So if I come down with terminal cancer or Alzheimer's disease or something where the doctor says, okay, Tina's done, she can't work anymore ever again because she's just lost it all, my husband can then go into my life insurance policy and say, okay, I need $250,000 to take care of Tina until she croaks. So the life insurance policy kind of pays it out so that he has the funds to take care of me because I'm useless. And so that's one thing that I really love.
It almost works that way, yeah.
I mean, there's obviously more that goes into it, but
Yeah,
I mean, essentially
that
that's basically how it works without all the mumbo jumbo and high tech words and everything. So, anyways, yeah, so there's different life riders and things. Now, you guys may be sitting here going, well, why in the hell are they talking about life insurance? Like this is a financial education month, and life insurance isn't anything about financial education. And that's not true, because life insurance has everything to do with financial education, because when you die, you leave a whole lot of shit for your family to deal with. An average cost of a funeral nowadays is $30,000. And that's $30,000 your family's got to come up with, because let's face it, you're not going to be rotting in your living room. They've got to do something with your body, right? And so you have to find a way to help your family out and plan for your death, because everyone dies. No one's going to escape life. And so life insurance does play into your financial literacy and your financial future, because everyone dies, right? And so that's why I brought Karen on today, because this is something that no one talks about, because no one wants to talk about death, and no one wants to deal with it, right? Nope. No one wants to deal with, how am I going to die? I'm not going to go and get my plot. I'm not going to pay for my funeral arrangements, because I'm never going to die. Let's face it, I'm going to be here forever, right? That's not true. And so we really need to look at future and digest it and figure out, what in the hell are we going to do? And do I want to leave my family with a bucket full of debt, or do I want to pay that debt off and leave my family with a bucket full of money? Right? And so that's something that we really need to talk about. Donna says it's so true. Kirsten says totally. So, I mean, Jennifer says, I'm awesome. Hell yeah, I am, Jennifer. Thank you.
Yes, that's true.
So there's a lot.
Can I touch on that real quick?
Yes, Tina? Please do.
Yeah. So I just recently, literally last week, had to help out with that family member's funeral services and planning. And it is, I mean, when you're grieving, it's so hard to deal with. And so, what I wanted to bring up, that not only my company provides this service, but it's called a funeral concierge service. And so, what it is Tina, they have this 1-800 number that is a 24-hour number that you would call, and basically that concierge service would set up your entire funeral from start to finish. Like, you literally
Wow.
call the number, and the person who passed away, you'd get the information and all that. And the first of all, it has a built-in life insurance policy in it, and the payout is 24 to 48 hours, which is unheard of. It's amazing. And then the funeral concierge service, they're the ones that basically they plan the funeral for you, like
Mm.
almost from start to finish. And so um it's just it's just that one added peace of mind that you could bring to your family for when they pass away, or when you pass away, they don't have to worry about anything. Because also what's built into that product is um there's a cloud, an unlimited cloud that you can upload. These are the pictures I want you to use where I look cute and stuff, and and these are all here are all my life insurance policies. And it's such an amazing product. And so I just wanted to share that special product, because not many people know about that as well. And so there's just a ton of different life insurances and other financial services and products that people don't know about. And it's honestly just the time frame in this TV show is not enough to go over. And so it's really integral that you try and seek out a financial professional and sit with them as soon as possible, like yesterday, and be able to go over these types of options for you and your family.
Absolutely. I love that. I haven't heard of the funeral concierge, but I'm so excited. I might have to look into that like yesterday because I don't want my
Yeah,
kids to have to deal with planning out my death. I don't. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
having to deal with my mother-in-law's death and arrange funeral arrangements and all of that, there was so much fighting involved with family members. And there was so much
yes,
ugliness and so much disgusting behavior that I don't want that option to even be possible when I die. I want
yeah.
everything
This
planned out.
eliminates Yeah. Uh-huh. This eliminates all that drama. I mean, it
Yeah.
eliminates the headache, Tina. We've had some of our business partners in the past. Yes, a funeral concierge also negotiates the price for you, and that's what I was able to help with last week. And also, one of our financial professionals, our partners in our business, passed away a couple of years ago, and he passed away during a trip to Hawaii. And because he had that funeral concierge, the concierge was able to negotiate the price of the transport of the body to home. And so the family didn't have to figure that out. I mean, imagine not
Mm,
having to worry about that, because
that's
that was
amazing.
already set up by your loved one. Like, it's just amazing. I can't stress enough the importance of not just that product, but all life insurance.
Absolutely. Kirsten says she needs her services. So, Karen, as we wrap up tonight, where can people find you to talk about life insurance, to talk about this funeral concierge, to talk about the conversations we don't want to have, but we need to have in order to
Yeah.
protect our family from our death?
Yeah, I should have emailed you my I should have given
No,
you
go
my
ahead.
email address, but it's karenang.wfg@gmail.com. I will send you all my other information after that. But yeah, we can totally set up an appointment, and yeah, and just go from there. Because I mean, this is just, I'm so glad that you contacted me for Financial Awareness Month, and your entire, like, I mean, your belief breakthrough and women empowerment movement is just so amazing. So to be a part of it is such an honor. And then, but this financial awareness is a very integral part of not just heightening and bringing women to the next level, but all of our families. Our families are, they're in distress right now. And I'm not just talking about 2020, because I mean, not a lot of people like 2020, but for me, I think what 2020 is, the positive thing that came out of 2020 is it gave us this perfect vision, right? 2020 perfect vision. It opened up our eyes to see what is most important in life, and that is our faith and our family and our finances, really. And as well as our health, because of COVID, right? To just cherish all of that, and all all the while also having fun, because our time here, Tina, is limited, and it's so important that we focus on these important aspects of our life to live the best lives that we could live. And so I'm so glad that you brought this on, and you are bringing such wonderful topics such as these to light.
Thank you so much, Karen. So Donna Quarles says, great job. And Jen says, this was so amazing, ladies. Thanks for sharing, Karen and Tina. Donna says, all have a great Christmas and New Year's. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another amazing episode of the Belief Breakthrough Show. We will be bringing financial experts to you for the rest of the month. And then in January, we will be focusing on a new year, new you, and what it takes to grow yourself into the person you dream to become. And so please listen to us every Monday and Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time live. You obviously can comment in and ask questions while we're talking. If you have not yet subscribed and liked our channel, please do so now so you do not miss any other episodes. And if you are ready to heal from your past, to shed the pain, and to enter into the new skin and awareness of your future life, please subscribe for our Belief Breakthrough Show Finding Direction free online course so that you can begin to take the healing journey today and change your life for tomorrow. Thanks, everyone, for listening.